What's up, y'all? It's Jay Danae here, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry I've been gone for so long, honey. It's been a long time. I've been hustling. And just to be frank, I've been hustling so I can quit my job. Praise his holy name, honey, because it is time for Jayana to be out in the forefront, really pursuing what she wants to pursue, and really launching or catapulting what I've been working on for years. And so I've been super laser focused on a lot of my media and creative ideas, and I feel confident about what I've been brainstorming on, because honestly I feel like God is in partnership with me. And so yeah, I think we have some good things coming soon and some great things to look forward to. Before I get into why we're here today, I want y'all to do what I ask y'all to do every time I get on here. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, just make sure you hit that subscribe button before you even continue to watch this video. Like, I literally want you to be subscribed to this channel before you end this video, okay? Just promise me you'll do that. All right, thank you. Okay, and another thing is, just, like this video or any of the other ones you might have enjoyed or will enjoy. Hello. And be sure to follow me on Instagram, and I'll put my Instagram handle right here so that you'll be able to copy and paste. All right? Okay, so I feel like today's video is a bit heavy. Well, honestly, I feel like most of them have been heavy, but this one, it might be a bit difficult for me to walk you all through it without getting a little emotional, because it's something that I feel that I'm still journeying through now, something I'm still healing from and learning how to approach differently and in a healthier way. So please bear with me and remember that I'm human. I have feelings, so be kind and extend me grace. Okay. So today I want to talk about the hate that I've had toward women. I'm not going to say that I hate them currently, because I don't. I do not hate women. Just keep that in mind. I do not hate women. But, sorry, it's bugs. I hate bugs. Okay. But yes, I have had hate toward women for a very long time. Probably from, I would say, childhood, let's say like 7, 8 years old, to maybe my earlier 20s, because I feel like I started my healing journey at 22. So my earlier 20s, I may have spent time, battling those harsh feelings I had toward them. But I would say from 23 years old till now, I am in a better place. But yeah, from 8 to about 22, so 14 whole years, I spent time dealing with hate toward women. I have a history of having to prove myself to men and women, but definitely women, because, and I'm going to use women a lot, even when I refer to like me as a child. So, just stay with me. But I've always had to prove myself. Like, I've always had to prove that I was girly enough, or I've always had to prove that I was pretty enough, or I was tough enough, or that I wasn't a punk, or that I was smart enough. Like, it was always something that I had to prove to the girls and the women around me. My first bullies were women, and I'm just being honest. My first bullies were women. Even though I had, in my earlier days, spent time at battle between, myself and like my cousins and my uncles, like males, and the boys in my classes and stuff. But the fear I had in me started because of issues with women. The first person I've ever had fear toward was my grandmother, my father's mother. She is someone who I now admire as a disciplinarian, as somebody who was able to maintain order in her household, even though she was doing everything by herself. And so I respect her, I admire her, I reverence her. I recognize now why she did what she did. I see her as the woman and not just as the mother and the grandmother. So I've been able to extend grace the older I've gotten. But back then, she was extremely scary. Like, yeah, she was a major disciplinarian, but she was super duper duper harsh. Like, she was extremely harsh, to the point where I was afraid to even speak to her. I was afraid to be around her. I was afraid to be myself. Like, anytime my father or my mother would tell me to call her, or if she would say anything about calling her more, I would always get like a huge sense of anxiety. Like, I would become overcome with anxiety about having to call her and about having to spend time with her, because she just scared me. Like, I didn't get a lot of whoopings in general, but especially from her, because I was always afraid of doing anything wrong, and I saw how she disciplined everybody else. So I'm like, listen, I don't want no parts of what these other people have had to experience, mainly because they're bad decisions. But like, I didn't want any parts of the discipline she was handing out, the whooping she was handing out to everybody else. But the other thing was, she just seemed to have a lot of like anger, like sometimes just not wanting to speak to us at all, coming in and just not wanting to hear from anybody, closing her door, saying no immediately when we were asked to do something. And me being somebody whose grades were always on point, and me not getting in trouble, I just couldn't understand why I had to, sit in the house as much as I did, and why the answer was no so much, and why there was not even a thought put into it. Like, I had a lot of thoughts as a kid, like, bro, what's up? And then, also just feeling like I wasn't enough, when it came to her. Like, I felt like when she looked at me, like it was something wrong with me. Like, when people would tell her, oh, is this your daughter? She looks just like you. She's like, no, she looks like her father. Like there was some sense of disappointment that other people would see some type of resemblance between the two of us. I can literally remember going to the doctor one time with my mama, and finding out that I was overweight. I mean, we already knew. Like, I wasn't like huge as an 8, 9, 10-year-old, but I was bigger than my friends. And so I remember going to the doctor, being a little sad about what the doctor said to me and my mama. And then I went to school the next morning and sat with my grandma, and she was like, oh, what did they say? And I'm like, oh, they said that I need to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. So then she said, oh, well, what was the weight? And I did not want to say what my weight was, because, I was already insecure about my size. I was being bullied, by people in my school, people at church, people in the household, regarding my weight. So I was like, I don't want to hear anything else that is even close to like criticism in regards to my weight. I just don't. So I just looked at her, and I didn't, want to say anything. And she asked again, like, what was the weight? So I told her what the weight was. I don't even remember what it was, but I told her what it was. And she was like, dang, man, hey. Like, she kept reiterating like this shock, like, dang, like, and it seemed to be like disgust, And I instantly started crying sitting next to her. But I cried quietly because at that point in my life, I was always being shunned for crying. I was always being shunned for crying. Like, and so I'm just like, let me cry quietly because I don't want to get in trouble for crying. And so that stuck with me, and it pretty much confirmed the insecurity I had regarding saying what my weight is, which even today when people ask me, I just say I don't know, because I still have like I still have a little bit of residue from the pain from before. And so whatever. Then, you know, there was some other times where things happened, you know, in the household where I was being talked about because my weight or my complexion or my hair or something. I was just being like bombarded with these insults. Like, I wish I could like accurately illustrate like how bad it was. Like, looking back now, of course, you know, my family members, when I talk about it, it's like, oh, you know, we were joking. Like, because even now, like, my family, the way some of them bond is through joking. Like, even if it's about serious or funny stuff, and like, it's not taken as seriously. But back then, being a young girl who was always talked about everywhere she went, a group of your uncles or your male cousins talking about your weight or talking about you as if you're not cute and your hair is ugly and your body is ugly and your smile is ugly and all these different things are ugly. Like, these jokes are not going to be taken lightly. I don't care how much your parents try to prepare you for like other people joking about you. Like, it was too much. It was too much. And I would run to my grandma each time and tell her, like, you know, I feel like they're bullying me or they're saying these things about me and it's hurt my feelings. Like, he called me fat, he said this, he said that, did all these things. And I would get in trouble for snitching. I would get in trouble for being a tattletale. That's what I was labeled as a tattletale. You always telling. And so eventually I stopped telling. Even when I experienced sexual abuse or I experienced people putting me in danger, like, I stopped telling. Like, I think when I started my healing journey at 22, like, by the time I was 23, I started kind of revealing some of the other things I experienced as a child and as a adolescent. Some, you know, many of the things my parents were upset about because they wished I would have told them earlier. But if I'm gonna spend the majority of my childhood getting in trouble for telling, like, that's going to teach me that telling is bad. And so I just stopped. And so, you know, a lot of my negative interactions with my grandmother, and then even my other grandmother, just like kind of just this lack of like emotional connection. Like, granted, a lot of what I've accomplished, I literally give my mother's mother credit because she funded like many of the opportunities I would not have been able to take part of because of lack of money. But she literally made sure that I was able to do what I needed to do. But on the emotional side of it, like, there was a lack of connection there. And it was just hard kind of like seeing how other people's grandmothers were, and like just this sweet old lady, like pulling them into a hug and comforting them and loving on them and spoiling them and stuff like that. Like, I have never experienced that. And I feel like back then, being a kid who spent the majority of her days depressed and sad about everything, it would have been nice to have a grandmother to, like, you know, let me lay my head on her lap and just like just cried out without getting in trouble, but yeah, but like outside of my family, I've just had like some very, very ugly experiences with women. Like a lot of them would just say terrible things to me or about me, and they always wait until like my mother or my father wasn't around. Like some of my mama friends were very, very mean to me, like telling me to shut up when I would like try to talk, or accusing me of doing things and making me feel like an outsider, making me feel like there was something wrong with me, making me feel like I was in the way when I was at their houses, or like they were ready for me to go. Like it was always something about ensuring that I didn't feel welcomed. And they were supposed to be like aunts to me, or like mentors, or just people who are supposed to, in my opinion, protect me. But like instead they just bullied me. Like they just bullied me. And I don't think I truly was able to, like, I don't know. I don't think I was able to truly understand the pattern until I got older. Like, until I got to college. And in college is where I started to experience more positive interactions with like women, especially black women. But up until that point, like, I just kept running into issues with women who were trying to beat me down in some type of way. Like even in high school, my principal and her best friend, they were two like heavier women, and they would make me feel so ugly. Or as if I wasn't like feminine enough. Like they accused me of being gay on multiple occasions, like because we were poor. And so I couldn't afford like pants that would fit for real, and like mold like a bunch of uniform shirts and stuff. And so sometimes I did not look the most well kept, and seeing like my pants being too big, like somebody will make a joke about me being gay, me trying to sag like a boy, or if I would buy something that had like a rainbow on it, like because I loved colors. I've always loved colors. Me buying something with colors on it automatically meant I was gay, according to them. The most like irritating situation out of every single one with my principal and her friend was when we were at our what were we? We were in a cafeteria at a ski resort for our senior trip. And I was feeling good. I had finally like conquered my fear of skiing, and we were all standing in the hallway like talking about the experience. And so I don't think we were able to eat lunch yet, or something kept us from being able to like get our lunch. And so I went to the vending machine and bought some Ruffles, a small bag of Ruffles. And when I brought it over to my friends who were part of my homeroom, they wore them Ruffles out. It was probably like 4 Ruffles. In them small bags you get like 3 chips, but it was only a couple left. And I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't even mad. I'm just like, okay, I just ate the couple that were left. And the two of them, my principal and her friend, saw me eating the chips and was like, you shouldn't be eating no junk. Like, just like kind of like making comments about how eating the junk don't make my weight no better. Like, you definitely shouldn't be eating no chips, because like whatever they were saying, it was like extremely critical and extremely mean, and they were like laughing about it. I kid you not, they were laughing about it, and I instantly got mad. Like, I shut down and I teared up a little bit, and I was talking to the girls, my friends, about it, like, this what they just did, like they pissing me off, like blah 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 blah. And like I had a tear coming down my face, and they were trying to encourage me, but at that point I was just like so overdone with being talked about. Like, come on now, like, adults, like, grow up, you know what I'm saying? Because if I turn around and talk about how your pants are too tight for your stomach, like, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get 4 points or 4 demerits. Like, you know, that's how they punished us. But y'all can talk about me. Y'all can talk about my weight. And I think in their minds, I can't say that they were trying to help. Because if you were trying to help, you wouldn't be sitting up here laughing about it. But I feel like they were literally trying to, like, beat me down. And my experience after, like, even after, like, college and working my first salary job, going into my second salary job where I worked for my principal from high school, I literally thought I was over, like, what had happened, because we did develop, like, a decent relationship. But all the feelings from back then came back once I saw that the bully she was back then is the same bully she is now. Especially with me being a young black woman who's not skinny, who's not like the social standard of, like, beauty, which I don't care about, but, like, according to society, like, I wouldn't be considered a 10. Like, it's easier to criticize me and try to beat me down no matter how hard I fight back, because I do, trust. But, like, just this urge to make me feel less than, this urge to make me feel like I am below you or below a certain, like, status or whatever, like, it was still there. It is still present in her and present in a lot of the black women she hires to be a part of the leadership team. Saying comments like, if people bring me bad information about you, I'm always believe them, or I should give your bonus to somebody else, or there's no way people will believe that you are, what did she say? It's hard for me to believe that you are, like, someone who follows God when you wear short skirts, or if you wear something showing, like, skin or whatever. Like, saying things to make me second guess myself or doubt myself. Like, that is the kind of experience I have, or I have had with black women or black girls my entire life. And I'm not gonna say I was perfect, because there were times in my life, but I would say a time in my life for maybe 2 years out of high school where I was mean. I wasn't going out of my way to bully people, but I was not a welcoming person. I wasn't, because I feel like I started to develop, or maybe I became more aware of how black women or black people, black females treated me. I became more aware of it. And even when there were, or when there was a black teacher during my high school years who would, like, check in on me or see, like, if I needed anything, because, like I said before, I didn't have what I need to have all the time. I was always, like, trying to figure out, like, is she trying to play me, or is she trying to be there for me? Like, I was struggling to understand, like, if the accountability was the same thing as bullying. And so even now in my life, the struggle is trying to figure out, are you trying to bully me? Are you trying to play me? Are you trying to criticize me? Or are you really there for me? Are you really trying to be a genuine friend or a genuine mentor? It's a struggle. It is very, very hard. It is very hard. And I feel like I am not the only woman who has dealt with this or who currently deals with this. Having to figure out if women are actually being genuine. Are you trying to have an authentic connection, or are you trying to reel me in so that way when I do become vulnerable, you're going to try to use everything against me? Are you going to try to beat me down at my lowest, because that's what my experience has been? Are you going to drop me at any point when you get tired of being there for me? Every mentor I've had has dropped me. Every black female mentor I've ever had has dropped me because she got too busy. Or no, you should be good. You feel it seems like you don't really need anything. Like, just this idea that I am a rock, like doing certain things that would normally hurt other people's feelings. Those things wouldn't hurt me because I'm so strong. I'm so tough. So it's okay if you drop me or disappoint me, because I'm not gonna feel the way normal people feel. Like, that's how I have been treated by Black females my entire life, and that's how some have treated me even recently. And so my consistent battle is processing how I feel when I have a particular encounter with a woman, to try to figure out, how is she approaching me? How am I feeling about this encounter? What kind of encounter is it? What should I take from it? Is she trying to be my friend, or what is she trying to do? Because I don't know. So I have to have these internal conversations with myself a lot, because I don't want to be a woman who's bitter toward women. And so I allow myself to have these conversations with myself, because I want to make sure that I'm having healthy encounters with women, considering the trauma that I've experienced because of them, because of dysfunctional Black females. I won't say all Black females, but dysfunctional Black females. And so God is still healing my heart in that area, and I'm allowing it. I am allowing it, because I want to nurture healthy connections with other women. I want to be able to be a healthy older sister. I want to be a healthy daughter. I want to be a healthy granddaughter. I want to be a healthy employee, a healthy partner. Like, regardless of what I've experienced at the hands of other people, I want to ensure that I am able to have healthy, long-lasting connections, because no, I was not responsible for my trauma, but I am responsible for my healing. So I can give y'all reasons as to why certain situations have gone the way they have. I can give you every justification for why I've handled certain things unhealthily. I can give you reasons. But none of that is sustainable, because I need to be healthier, and I need to start applying a lot of what I've learned through therapy and counseling and my journey with God to these situations, should they arise again. So the journey I'm on right now is just becoming a healthier individual all the way around, but not dismissing what I've experienced, and ensuring that I'm always able to connect a trigger to something from the past, just to see, how I might not be showing up as my best self in a situation because of whatever. I want to continue to be self-aware, and I want other people to be self-aware. You are not somebody who gets along better with dudes just because. There has to be a reason behind it. You might enjoy their company more, but you should also be able to have healthy interactions and healthy relationships with women. And I know I'm currently healing, because I have a couple of female best friends who I feel extremely comfortable around and safe with. And I have been doing better in my relationship with my mother, with my sister, with my grandmothers. I have been intentional about showing up better, even if it feels uncomfortable. And so I know that the healing process is working on my behalf, but I'm not gonna let up, because I'm not done. So I want to encourage y'all to be intentional about continuing to heal. There can be proof that your process is working, but don't let minimal proof deter you from continuing to participate in your process. 1 good situation, 5 good situations. None of that means that you're done. You should continue to aim for better. And that's what I'm doing. So, yeah, I've had a hard time with women, but it will get better. It will get better, because I'm getting better. So I hope this transparency encourages you or inspires you to be real with yourself in whatever context. Okay? I love y'all, for real. I hope y'all love me. And I'm praying for y'all, honey. So please pray for me. Okay. All right. Bye.